The day I found out the truth, I had just come home early from work. I heard whispering behind our bedroom door. My boyfriend's voice, low and careful, and a woman's voice I didn't recognize. My hand froze on the doorknob. 3 years of loyalty, and in that 1 second, I thought it was all over. I was wrong about what was actually happening, but I didn't know that yet. My name is Sophie. 3 years ago, I met Ethan at a small coffee shop near my apartment. He told me he was a freelance graphic designer, struggling to find steady clients. He drove an old car with a cracked side mirror. He wore the same jacket every week. I was a kindergarten teacher. Neither of us had much, but we had each other, and that was enough. Every single day, Ethan stopped by the little market near my building on his way to see me, bringing something small. A mango. A bar of chocolate. Once, just a flower he'd picked up off a street cart because it reminded him of my favorite color. We didn't have money for fancy dinners, so we cooked together in my tiny kitchen and ate on the floor because I didn't own a dining table. For 3 years, it was simple, and it was good. I trusted him completely. I never once thought to check his phone, question where he'd been, or doubt a single word he said. Then Ethan told me something that changed everything. He wasn't just a struggling designer. His name was Ethan Cole, and his family owned an investment empire worth over $400 million. He'd been testing the world, hiding his money to see if anyone could love him without it. I was the only one who had. I didn't care about the money. I only cared that he trusted me enough to finally tell the truth. That's when Alexa showed up. She introduced herself as an old family friend of Ethan's, someone who had always been close to him growing up. She was stunning, confident, and impossible to ignore, the kind of woman who filled a room the second she walked into it. Ethan seemed uncomfortable around her, but he said she was harmless, just someone from his past reconnecting now that his name was in the news. Alexa started appearing everywhere. Business dinners Ethan couldn't skip. Family events I wasn't invited to, but she somehow always was. She'd touch his arm a little too long, laugh a little too loud at his jokes, and every time I brought it up, she'd smile at me sweetly and say I was imagining things. Then one afternoon, Alexa called me. Her voice was soft, almost sympathetic. She told me she felt terrible, but she thought I deserved to know the truth. She said she'd seen messages on Ethan's phone, messages to another woman, someone he'd apparently been seeing quietly for weeks. She said Ethan didn't really love me. She said the real reason he kept me around was guilt, because I'd loved him back when he pretended to be poor, and he didn't know how to end things without looking cruel. I felt my entire chest cave in. I didn't sleep that night. When Ethan came home, I didn't say a word about it. I just watched him differently, waiting, terrified, for proof that Alexa was right. That's when I came home early and heard whispering behind our bedroom door. I stood frozen outside, my heart slamming against my ribs. I heard Ethan's voice, quiet and serious, and a woman's voice answering him. I couldn't make out the words, only the tone, hushed, urgent, secretive. My hands were shaking when I finally pushed the door open. It wasn't another woman in the room with him. It was his lawyer, on a video call, and beside her on the screen was a financial investigator Ethan had hired 2 weeks earlier, after he noticed money missing from a personal account only a handful of people had access to. Ethan turned to me, pale, and said one sentence that changed everything. "Sophie, I think Alexa has been stealing from me, and I think she's the one who's been lying to you." The investigator explained it calmly. For the past 2 months, Alexa had been slowly transferring small amounts from one of Ethan's minor accounts into an offshore account under a name that traced back to her. She had also been the one messaging another man behind Ethan's back, a wealthy investor she'd been quietly building a relationship with as a backup, in case her plan with Ethan didn't work out fast enough. The messages Alexa claimed were Ethan's were never his at all. She had taken screenshots of her own conversations with that investor, cropped out the name, and shown them to me as proof of Ethan's betrayal. She needed me gone. If I left, she believed Ethan would turn to her for comfort, and eventually, for everything else. Ethan didn't wait. He called Alexa that same night, and asked her to come to the apartment, telling her he needed to talk privately. She arrived within the hour, confident, composed, already rehearsing whatever comforting words she planned to offer him about our breakup. Instead, she found me sitting beside him, along with his lawyer. Ethan laid it all out calmly. The transfers. The offshore account. The screenshots she'd doctored to end our relationship. Alexa's face went white, then furious, then desperate, insisting it was all a misunderstanding, that she could explain everything if he just gave her a moment alone. Ethan didn't give her a moment. He told her the accounts were already frozen, the funds already traced, and that his lawyer had two choices ready for her: full repayment and a signed non-disclosure agreement, or a police report and formal charges. Alexa chose repayment. She left that night with nothing but her name attached to a legal document promising she'd never contact either of us again. I won't pretend those weeks didn't hurt. For a while, I looked at Ethan and saw doubt where there used to be only trust. But slowly we rebuilt it, stronger than before, because this time, we'd survived something meant to tear us apart on purpose. Ethan and I got married the following spring. Alexa never trusted anyone unless money was involved. I never trusted anyone unless love was, and in the end, that was the only difference that mattered. Every year on our anniversary, Ethan still walks to that same small market near my old apartment and brings home a single flower, the same kind he used to bring when he had nothing to offer but himself. That flower means more to me than every zero in his bank account ever could. If you've ever had someone try to destroy your relationship out of jealousy, tell me in the comments. And if you believe real love survives every lie thrown at it, subscribe for more stories like this one.